Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Talk joining you this week, and having a great time as summer is kind of winding down already, Artie, with a bang, right?
Man, this summer went quickly. It just disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but we're in September. We're past Labor Day weekend, and now we're heading into the fall and fall beers, right?
I don't know about you, man, but I'm a little thirsty. And what do you got in front of you, my friend?
Hey, I'm drinking the Argyle IPA. This beer was my summer go-to. It was just it's so refreshing, nicely hoppy, just that sort of West Coast meets East Coast a little bit. Got a little haze to it, but not a whole lot. So it's just that sort of middle beer, which is just great to enjoy most times.
Beautiful, beautiful. I have one of the classics, the Kipona Fest lager, one of the seasonals that's been around forever, and it's named after the Kipona Fest in Harrisburg. I'm enjoying the beautiful amber color of it, and I'm looking at yours. And cheers, my friend. I wanted to get that out of the way early. His beer is sitting in front of me, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to sneak some lawn mowing in here tonight or not before we get this another round of storms, but that beer was delicious. So
yeah, I saw the storms from down south. I was actually down on the Chesapeake Bay, and I could see the storm coming up north, and I guess you guys just got hammered yesterday. Is that right?
It was pretty wild. I think everybody, depending on where you live in like the Harrisburg, Mechanicsburg area or Hershey or, even my parents who live a little bit further north. Yeah, there was a mixture. Everybody was talking about hail and, winds. And I'll tell you what, from my standpoint, it just was, it's weather talk. But everybody, it's always, when you ever talk to somebody and you're always like, yeah, you know what? It was 92 degrees yesterday. And oh, no, it was, and at my house, it was 96. I think we might have lost a shingle, and they're like, "Oh, I think we lost I think half the roof came off on our place." So you know what I'm saying? Isn't weather talk kind of like it's like the topper game? With
it
people
is.
sometimes?
It is. Yeah, you want to. My limb was bigger than your limb.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. That's how it's kind of been. So avoiding the the weather talk a little bit, but yeah, there was some hail and stuff. So late summer stuff. In the evenings, hot all day while everybody's sitting in their offices and everything at work, just waiting to get outside and do something, maybe go to the pool. And as soon as they get on the interstate, there's limbs everywhere and the wind's blowing and, everything gets canceled. Yeah. So, yeah, it's typical central PA summer. But I wanted to talk about a couple of things. First of all, Artie, happy birthday, man. Big milestone for you. Now, this is hard to believe, the number you're about to throw at us.
40.
See, I told you that is extremely hard to believe.
Extremely hard to believe.
You might want to add about 33% to that number.
No, I had a big birthday this year. I think we might have talked about it a little bit in the podcast, but it was great. Everybody wanted to throw me a big party, and I kept avoiding it and changing. I would tack left and tack right, and they couldn't get a hold of me to have a big shindig, and which I was really sort of happy about. But one of the guys I used to travel with a lot, we used to go to Europe every year with the Great Beer Wanderers group. That we did that for about 10, 15 years. It was awesome. We'd just go over and tour breweries and drink beer and do a lot of other things we probably shouldn't have been doing, but. He called me sometime in July or June or July, and he said, "Hey, would you be interested in getting the band back together, so to speak?" And he said, "It's going to be my 50th birthday." Well, he said it's my 50th birthday, so I got a group of guys. We're going to go to Scotland to golf and do some single malt distillery tours. And so I said, "Well, what day are you leaving on?" He said, "August 9th." And I said, "Well, that's my 40th birthday," so to speak. So it was meant to be, I guess, right? So I booked my flight, and we had a wonderful time. Got to play golf in Scotland, so that was able to check that box off, and did about 5 or 6 distillery tours and drank some great single malt scotches over there. It was an amazing trip.
Awesome. And no delays or anything, no major, nothing that put it behind. Everything that was on schedule, because that's such a can be for many people a once in a lifetime deal, right? And you don't want to get hung up for days at an airport, especially over here in the States. It's like, no, everything was smooth.
Everything was smooth. Well,
Awesome.
Actually, I shouldn't say that. My first flight was canceled.
Okay, well,
from Harrisburg to Newark, but my buddy was driving to Newark, and I caught a ride with him, and so everything from there went great. And that reminds me, I got to call United because I don't know if I ever got reimbursed for that canceled
yeah, who
flight.
knows? Well, they're not going to call you.
No,
so.
I don't think so.
That's cool.
I didn't see a credit.
No, yeah. We went to a couple of trips this summer. We went to see my literally the kids got out of school, last day of school. We picked them up, and we drove 11 or 12 hours down to South Carolina, down to Hilton Head.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, my brother-in-law lives down there and just had a baby. So, wife wanted to go see him, and we had to drag my mother-in-law with, So, she, we loaded up the old minivan and like a champ all the way down, drove like halfway the first night, and then picked it up the second half. And we spent some time down there and did like a lot of fishing, just the stuff that I like to do.
Sure.
Because basically, you're staying at someone's house. And you're not staying, I'm kind of blessed in a way that the last two places I've lived, Ocean City, Maryland, just outside of Ocean City, and Hershey, right? Like when people come to visit you, your house is the hotel, but really the attractions are everywhere else,
Sure.
And I mean, we're staying at basically someone's house where, yes, you have the beach. It's a little bit of a drive and stuff, but you're basically in a neighborhood. It's not like you're like, there's not the amusement park or, the boardwalk. It's just you're at someone's house and you're there to visit and spend time with family. But like my son and my daughter are both pretty much fishing fanatics. So we were like a 10-minute drive from some salt water just on a bridge. But whatever the body of water is, it's like a river or something in between, the mainland and the Hilton Head Island. And yeah, so every other fish you're catching are like these black tip sharks. So we caught ones that were like anything from like a foot long to like just about 2 feet long. And,
wow.
And then a bunch of like little, people call them stingrays, but they're skates.
Sure.
Whatever, right?
Yep.
So we were just like bottom fishing with some clams. We bought at like a gas station and like, man, we did that for hours. And like my kids just ate it up because you can't catch sharks here,
No, not at all.
So we had a good time there. And then we did a family trip down in the Outer Banks, which is, a lot of people do that. We rent a big house with some other families, and adults spend time with the adults and kids spend time with the kids, and everybody mingles the whole time. And we had a great deal, but we kind of front loaded our summer. And now once we get into, this time of year, it's like football city for me, man. That's where I live. It's all coaching football and going to my daughter's volleyball games and trying to squeeze in a podcast and a beer with you every once in a while. So
yeah, it's been a difficult summer to get together. It really has. When you were away, I was around, and when I was away, you were around. But yeah, Mike, you talk about the minivan and getting everybody together and heading down the road, and certainly brings up some of the past times where we would take big road trips as a family with the girls, and it was awesome. We just had so much fun.
Yeah, I will come to blows with anyone who talks trash on my minivan, too. You know what I'm saying, man? It's probably, now, maybe not every model is equal, but what I've got, the old Town and Country with the completely stow-and-go foldable seats, dude, it's like it's okay, so it's not a truck, but it basically is a truck. It's basically a truck. I mean, I'm telling you, so I love that, and the fact that it's like a people mover at the same time. That's what most people want it for. Is it's not a grocery getter. It's like I've put a lot more of stuff in that.
And they're tanks.
Yeah,
that's a safe vehicle to take your family down the road, I think.
It's a little non-discreet too. It's what I like about it as well. You're not. No one's checking me out. They're like, it's another minivan going down the road. That's what's special about that guy.
Yeah.
I don't.
No.
I'm not trying to draw attention to myself.
There are definitely no young ladies checking you out, Mike.
Well, that's for sure. Yes, Tara. Sleep well tonight, because I'm in no danger of being scooped up by the Swedish bikini team when they pass through town.
That's right.
Looking for a lotion boy. Dumb and Dumber, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Classic.
Yeah, no, they're not looking at that van, I don't think.
Nice. All right. Well, Artie, it's so good. I mean, we talk about how busy everybody is, and if anybody can relate to this podcast, it's that they love beer and I'm sure their lives are as busy as ours, if not even busier. And we're just starting off here. I mean, I can't wait to talk to you about some new things happening. First of all, can I say new location? Can I say an old favorite place to hang out in the Appalachian Brewing Company family is back open. Plus, definitely some new beers and some new things to look forward to as we get here into fall. So we'll be right back, and we'll talk about all those things when we come back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. And we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. It's Mike Parker and Artie Talk hanging out here today, coming from the one of the remote offices of the brewing company, Artie's place, right, over on the west shore of Harrisburg, over in Camp Hill. So beautiful place you have here, by the way. Camp Hill's a fun town. It's it's a bedroom community, right? I mean, everybody who lives here works almost somewhere else, right? Like, in Harrisburg or Mechanicsburg or Shippensburg or something, right? And they come back here at night and love their little town and their gardens and their nice yards and beautiful houses right?
Yeah. We stumbled upon this when we first moved here in '97, and we found this little house, and it's been great. We raised the girls here, and it's been home for us since we've been here.
Beautiful, central to everything. So for you, very convenient. But
no doubt.
Yeah, doing a lot of traveling and stuff. It's always nice just to come home. I mean, so many times, like we talked about vacations earlier, and it's like, you get on the road, you got this anticipation. It seems like you get there, and you're like, and then when it's time to leave, you're almost sometimes you're ready to go home. Other times, maybe the dreaded drive home. But when you finally get there and put your head down on your own pillow that night, you're kind of happy to be there, right? So
yeah, no doubt. And this summer was a busy summer for us. A lot of our trips that we planned to take over the last couple years that were canceled sort of got pushed to this year. So it's been sort of a travel year for us. But and I'm sure a lot of our listeners are the same way. They, you didn't travel, then you didn't travel, and then all of a sudden those trips that you had planned or you were supposed to do or whatever, everything sort of came to fruition this summer. So hopefully everybody else got to get out and enjoy traveling somewhere that you wanted to travel but couldn't last couple of years.
But one thing that's always here is the beer, and that's why I love beer in cans. So my Kipona Fest that I'm just about finishing off here, delicious, by the way, toasty, just everything. It's such a good beer. Probably one of my favorite lagers at the brewery. I mean, and it just has there's a sweetness to it that makes it a little bit more distinctive than, say, like the mountain lager, right? So,
Oh, no doubt. There's a malt character to the Märzen that everybody loves, but it's also sort of nutty and crisp and dry and all at the same time. So it's just a great style. I love this. I love this time of year.
Right. Well, the fridge is packed, and we might be cracking one open here before the end of the podcast. So what I wanted to talk about is feeling about like coming home, right? So. There's a place that's been home for a lot of people in Harrisburg for a long time, and one of our favorite places. Like when we worked together, it seemed like that would be the place where people would hang out at the end of the day. Grab a beer, catch up, or maybe even catch a late meeting before we went home or something. Was the Abbey Bar? The Abbey Bar at Appalachian Brewing Company in Harrisburg, the second floor. Not only a great bar and place to hang out, but it's a special events area and live music. So I know that you had the challenges with, with all the people working remotely and everything, not as many people in the city, not as many people filling that space, but things are, you found a way to reopen those doors recently. So tell me about the excitement about reopening the Abbey Bar.
Yeah, we have been open 5 days a week for a while now. It took us a bit to get. First of all, we were just evenings, and then we started adding in weekend lunches, and then started adding in the other couple day lunches. But we're still closed the 2 days. But we now have gotten the Abbey Bar open those same 5 days. Open a little bit later, of course, in the day. But certainly a great opportunity for people to come hang out in a little bit different atmosphere. And, you can either stay downstairs in the traditional brew pub, or you can go upstairs, play pool, throw darts and hang out up there as well. So it just sort of depends on what you're looking for. We don't have the entertainment up and running yet. Still not ready to quite jump into that arena yet, but it's certainly open. The new deck, I don't know if anybody has had a chance to get there, but my partner Sean and Jack, they built a little bit smaller but more useful deck for us there. Still the rooftop, still the great views of the Capitol, just a little bit smaller, but all on one level now. I don't know if you remember, you used to have to go down the big ramp or the steps down. Now it's all on the same level.
Did you actually tore the old one out and put a new one in?
Yeah, we had no choice. Yeah, we had no choice.
I mean, it's been there a while, right?
Yeah,
so yes, absolutely.
We had to build or redo the roof material on that building. It was 20, just as with anything, Mike, after about 20 to 25 years, things start to go,
yes.
And roofs leak, everything else happens, and that's sort of the process we've been in for the last couple of years in Harrisburg. But still love that old building, and it's such a great place to hang out. Please, if you're listening to the podcast, bring your family out, bring your friends out, and come hang out with us. We'd love to see you.
Awesome. Oh, well, I will do that. I will take you up on that because it is a great place. There's been so many good memories out there. And you know what? It's just, I always felt like when I would go there early in the day, I always felt like, so my routine back in, 15 years ago would be get off work around like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I had a good schedule right at the time. And then there would be Senators games that would be like 6 or 7 o'clock. So I would, instead of going home, I would just go to like the Abbey Bar and go sit out on the deck, and there'd be nobody there for a while. And then all of a sudden, as I was getting ready to leave and go over to the baseball game, then there'd be more people coming. But like, I was always like, man, why isn't there just a bunch of people here all the time? Because it's such a good secret. So it's that kind of part. It's almost like having a good fishing spot. You want to tell people about it, but you don't want to tell people about it.
Yeah. You don't want too many people there when you want to go there.
Yeah,
right?
But for the sake of this, we want everybody to go. So come on out, enjoy the deck over there. And Artie, I mean, super, super big news. It's always big when you open a new location or expand or, renovate. But we're talking a new location. You guys recently added another location, which is in the heart of ABC country, if I will. So it's going to make it that drive and give people another place to go. Tell me about the new location that you guys just opened up recently over in Cumberland County.
Yeah, so an opportunity sort of presented itself. We've looked at Carlisle for a while. That was, and then when we opened Mechanicsburg, we were sort of like, well, this is sort of like our Carlisle location because you're really not that far from Carlisle when you're out on the Carlisle Pike that far. Yeah. But we always sort of kept an eye on Carlisle, and we're looking for opportunities there. Of course, there's a couple breweries that have come in more recently, and they do a great job there. So, so we saw a posting for the Carlisle Barracks Golf Course Clubhouse was taking applications for people to go in and run that. So, we thought, hey, let's give it a shot. Let's apply for it. And we actually were awarded the contract to run that. And it's something that we can do over the next, for as long as it's viable. But it's certainly one of the busier courses in the area, and it's in excellent shape. They keep the course in amazing shape there. Yeah. So it's a beautiful course to have a restaurant on, and it's also a brand new facility. They built it just a couple years ago, and so it is a beautiful clubhouse, beautiful facility for us to step into. So we were awarded, I think, on July 15th, and we were open by August 1st with a little bit more of a limited menu, but and now we're starting to hit our stride. We've got a great GM hired there, and great staff. Our whole management team is amazing there. And, we're looking forward to doing the events, the golf events, of course, because, we get all that business. And,
that's like totally, that's actually exciting because it's different. I mean, like I I don't golf that much anymore. You know, we've golfed. Probably the most I golfed in recent years was with you. You know,
Possibly,
like
yeah,
because we used to
right.
go maybe a few times a year and do like these golf events, and you know, it was always fun. And I always said I don't really want to golf without beer because it's kind of like I'm not that good of a golfer. People can relate to this, but like I'll start off and it'll be in the morning and I'll be doing pretty good. And then I start to fall off a little bit, like especially like a scramble. I don't feel like I'm pulling my weight, you know, Artie. So then I'll have a beer and all of a sudden I just knock one down the middle of the fairway, right?
Yeah, it straightens your swing out, straightens everything out, and the ball goes straight.
So
too.
if I had one beer, imagine what I could do with 2 beers.
or 4.
Well, then when you get to about 4, maybe you start rethinking this.
Well, hopefully you finish the round before you get
Right.
too many.
Well, so I'm only at about like the 5th hole at this point. So no, but I always like the combination of, and then, you know, of golf and beer. And then when you end up at the, you know, either on the turn or at the end, and it's time to just sit there and either celebrate or, you know, whine about what you did wrong and whatever. And you sit there and it's a great place to be, and people want to be there. They want to be in a place. And I'll tell you, they won't stay. If it's not good, they're not going to stay. If it's warm beer and bad food, you know, that's almost going to ruin the experience, even no matter how good your round was. So can you imagine a good round of golf, or even a bad round of golf with an ABC brew pub basically at the end? That's amazing, man.
It's been fun, and I've gotten out to play a couple times and really enjoyed the course. I used to play it every so often. I used to go out and golf with some guys that they would start really early in the day, and so I'd meet them out there every so often when they needed a fourth player. But you know, we're really excited about it, and the community has been great so far. In terms of the, you know, you have the base there, so you sort of have a captured audience, so to speak, right? Because they're
the
military base, right? That everybody that lives in and around and on there, and a lot of them are golfers. Some aren't, right? But they still come in for dinner, and then we're working to try to bring more of the community in as well. A lot of sometimes people think it's on base, but it's really not. It's just outside of the base. So when you turn to go on base, you keep going straight, and you go straight to the clubhouse.
To be very clear, it's a public golf course and it's a public facility. This isn't.
It really is.
It's not the commissary or whatever over there.
It's open to the public, and anybody can come. You know, there's parking. Sometimes parking can be a little bit challenging, only because you have a lot of golfers on the course too. Yeah. But they've got a pretty good size one main lot that holds quite a few, probably 100 or more spaces. But then they have an auxiliary lot just outside too that has another 30 or 40. So if you see the parking lot pretty full, don't worry. You'll probably find a spot there. You know, people are finishing golfing all the time, so they're getting in their car and heading out. So you'll find some place to park and come in and see us there as well.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I always love seeing the new places. And one thing about it is, you know, you guys are, you know, you're a company with multiple locations, but no location is the same. I recently met a friend who used to live in Lancaster, who moved out western Pennsylvania, out near Greensburg, for the past 10 years or so. And he's actually retiring and is kind of making his tour of places that, you know, where he used to live, and catching up with people and saying before he's going to definitely do some traveling and things like that. So it's going to be harder for him to get together. So when he was in Lancaster, I said, man, there's only one place we're going. I said, let's meet up at ABC Lidditz. It was great. And that's, again, completely different from your Gettysburg location, your Harrisburg location, or Shippensburg, and now the Carlisle. So this is really cool. Spread the word. If you like golfing, check out that course over there at the Carlisle Barracks. And if you love good food and beer, check out the clubhouse, because you know, some good people are running it now. Appalachian Brewing Company. Artie will not let that that is going to be whether you're golfing or not, check it out. It's going to be a great addition to that community. So
yeah, I just wish I had an office there, right? Because that would be the best place to have an office. There's no room for that, but I go visit, so it's nice. Good. It's good.
Awesome. Well, listen, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about the beer and the food, and as we transition into fall. I don't want to say picnic season is over because, we've got other things to do as we get into fall. But, I mean, we've got tailgating with football games, Penn State, Shippensburg, the places where you guys exist, where it's fun to go and hang out. Wherever you're going, you want to take some ABC beer with you, and think about maybe taking it home and how you can incorporate that into a fall get-together. Listen, we're going to talk about all that stuff when we come back, and we will be right back in just a minute on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast. All right, and we're back on the Appalachian Brewing Company podcast, live from Artie's house over here in Camp Hill today. There's a show. Did you ever see it with Hall & Oates, live from Daryl's house?
That's
yeah, well,
awesome.
What the heck, man?
That's one of my favorite shows.
It's actually a really good show, isn't
really
it?
is, yeah.
He's got music, and we've got a couple of beers over here at Artie's house.
Yeah, Artie's house.
Live from Artie's house.
Better beer than at his house.
His place, for sure. Yeah, I could imagine, the music is good, but I'm guessing it's probably just a bunch of peanut shells and whatever watered down beers coming to the table.
He's probably drinking some pretty good spirits.
Probably. Okay, let's give Daryl Hall a little more credit than I'm giving him right now. Maybe I'm taking.
I don't know.
Here I am trashing the guy all of a sudden just because I no. So I did switch it up though here for our last segment as we wind things down. You said let's stick with the lagers, so I have the mountain lager here, Artie. So cheers.
Yeah, perfect. Cheers.
From Kipona Fest Marzen-style lager to your Dortmund, which I referenced at the top, which is the classic flagship mountain lager. Perfect. Perfect beer any time of year.
I love that.
I've had that beer on land and at sea. We've been out shark fishing in the middle of the ocean with that beer before, so yes, I love.
Yeah, you probably had bottles back then. That was a little bit of a boat faux pas, but
yeah.
Hey, now it's in cans. You can take it anytime you want.
Right. You don't want to take when you go fishing. You don't want glass bottles or bananas on the boat for some reason.
That's what they say, bananas. Yeah, I heard that. We were in Hawaii, so I didn't know if it was a Hawaiian thing or not, but and I was just on a boat and we had bananas, so I don't know. I don't know.
Did you catch anything?
Is it a fishing thing?
It's a fishing thing.
Oh, I thought it was a safety thing. I didn't know. So it's not a luck thing. It's a luck and fishing thing.
I don't go on boats if I'm not fishing, to be honest with you. But
yeah,
I can tell you, this
makes sense.
My buddies, I have a lot of friends that are kind of salty old, crabbers and fishermen on the Chesapeake. You bring a banana on that boat, or you go out on the White Marlin Open out in Ocean City, and they discover a banana in your little lunch pail, you might definitely throw the banana off, and if you don't, you're going with it. So,
yeah. You walk the plank. Huh?
You walk the plank, exactly. You're chumming all of a sudden. So with you're the chum. Artie, we're getting into this time of year. We mentioned it before. Kipona Fest is that transitional beer. It's the end of summer festival in Harrisburg. We're getting into fall, and you're looking to eat. We've got Oktoberfest. Oktoberfest is happening at your locations right now. Let's talk about that and what to expect if I come in.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite times of the year where, I eat way too much the German food. I the schnitzel and the spatzel and all the other great German dishes. But and our team has put together a wonderful menu this year. For Oktoberfest, we're looking at starting next Saturday. That is the 15th of September. It runs the traditional Oktoberfest, which is the third Saturday through the first Sunday in October. So ours runs Saturday to Saturday, of course, just because it's a little bit easier to remember. But certainly all of our locations will have our German beers, German-style beers, our Kipona Fest lager, mountain lager. We'll have Hefeweizen, the Hinterland Hefeweizen.
My favorite.
Yeah, one of your favorites, that's for sure.
No, not one.
It is your favorite.
The favorite.
Well, I know you're a Water Gap Wheat guy, so I didn't want to jump on that too.
No, well, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If you want to distinguish between flagships and specialties, fine. Okay. If I had a desert island, okay, thank you.
But certainly great German-style beers with great German food. Come down, check it out. It's awesome. It's going to be great times.
No, always so much fun. And just the music, maybe a slight change in decor with, the flags and things like that maybe get hung around and may give you a little taste of a real Oktoberfest theme. One of the great places to do it is Appalachian Brewing Company. So, yes, always looking forward to that. And I'm sure you can find information, follow you guys on social, and check out what's going on. Always something a little different.
Facebook page, definitely a bunch of information there, also on the website.
Beautiful. So we're talking about, fall and football. And, I want to just talk about, I coach like 7th and 8th graders, all right? There's not much tailgating that goes on there, right? Unless you're like into drinking Gatorade in the parking lot, to hydrate, which we preach all the time to our kids. But we're talking, going to like Penn State, maybe if you're in Western Cumberland County or Franklin County, you've got, an opportunity. A great tailgate is at some of our state colleges too, like Shippensburg, so, ABC has a presence in Shippensburg, but people take your, especially since you started putting things in cans, years ago, it's easier than ever to take Appalachian beer with you when you go, and people do notice, and people enjoy, when they see that, because tailgating is necessarily what you bring. It's what other people have brought and what you're willing to share, and new friends that you meet. So, I mean, sure, you've gone to places before already, like up to Penn State, and, you're walking around with a can of ABC, and it's a conversation starter too, right?
Yeah, you bet. And you'll find our products in most all beer distributors up in State College, all in up in that area, of course. Down in Shippensburg, you can either stop at the brewery and purchase it, or go to your local beer distributor, and they'll have it there as well. Gettysburg, same way. So, yeah, if you're going to tailgate, we got you covered.
And, for the kids, don't forget about the craft sodas. I always think that it makes an impression, like people makes a great gift. I love if you go to a house party, just like, and they say, well, should I bring anything? Nah, you don't have to. Just bring yourselves. You know what? Don't just bring yourself. Bring a little something, right, for the people that are hosting the party. Like, if there's going to be kids there, take a 6-pack of Appalachian root beer, man. It's like, it makes
a hit. It's a hit
every time. And I guarantee you, the minute that you set that 6-pack of root beer down on the table, that kind of thing is a ton of fun. Always enjoyed it. So, styles of beer tend to change, as we've talked about in the past. We're still in the period right now where we got the hot days, and again, mowing the lawn, cold beer, maybe something lighter, like like the Argyle or the Sigma Oasis, something like that, like an IPA style. But as we get into these cooler nights, it is, Artie, I know maybe not for everyone, but I seem to transition into the stout beers sometimes. It's just what I do. I seem to associate different flavors with the seasons. Stouts, you got something going on right now? Anything special lined up for the fall?
We've got a few great. Well, we always have our Susquehanna Stout, right? And that's just an easy drinking beer. But we also, we have our Espresso Stout coming out.
Yes.
So right now I'm out selling. I do a lot of selling out in the marketplace, and it's really good for me because it gives me a chance to feel the pulse a lot better, so that I can see. But you can see, you get towards the first day of September, and people are starting to talk about what am I buying next? My customers want this, and I have to have it available for them. So they're on to stouts already. What are my winter beers and all those bigger winter beers? We've got the Midnight Refrigerator. It's exciting news there. We're going to be working with it, and I'm not going to say who yet because I'm going to use it as a little bit of a teaser. But we're working with a super group, one of the upcoming cookie companies in the region, and we're doing a special beer. We're going to do the Midnight Refrigerator.
So a little collaboration.
Yeah, based on one of their cookies. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, only because I know our press team has been working hard, our marketing team, to get everything put together so they can do a nice release on it. But that's going to be exciting. So, just looking at all those beers coming out this fall and into winter, we'll be talking about those before long.
What's the key, Artie, besides like if we're putting together? I love when we have like some members of your team here, and we ask them like, let's put together the perfect summer barbecue, right? We need some music, we need some beer, we need a signature cocktail, right? But if you're getting together, people are starting to decorate their houses. Like my wife's always way ahead of the seasons because she enjoys. Summer's kind of boring, right? We're kind of like we're gone a lot. You're spending not as much time in the house. But once fall gets around, you kind of start nesting a little bit more. You've got the decor is a little bit more the fall stuff. There's pumpkins around and there's leaves and whatever we decorate with here. And
sure.
And then as we get into winter, we get into the holiday stuff. But like if you're gonna have like a fall party, or you're thinking about cooking up like having a football weekend or hosting a football party at your house to watch the big game, right? What are a couple key elements of that, right? What do you want to have? Like, let's start with good beer. Give me a beer and give me a cocktail that you want to have have around when people are enjoying the game at your house on a fall weekend.
Well, any of our locations, you can pick up a beer. That you can pick up beer for your party. In Mechanicsburg and in Gettysburg, interestingly enough, you will be able to pick up a bottle of spirits, or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what you're looking for. Right. We have our whole line of spirits at those locations. We also have our canned cocktails. So you can pick up a Moscow Mule or a ranch water and a canned cocktail, right? You can pick up your soda for the kids, and then you can get your beer as well. And if you want, call in and order some wings to go, right? Yes. It's a one-stop tailgating place to go and get everything you need with one stop, head home. And let's just say we're one of the more efficient places to set up a tailgate party. That's Beautiful. For sure.
I love that. And if you're outside, and you're cooking up, like, this is a great thing. You're just looking to make like pulled pork, like, right? Maybe you put something in the crock pot, because that's what tailgate's all about, is easy food that everybody can get a little bit of. So my go-to for food is like a pulled pork. Get a cheap like roast at the grocery store. You want to season that up.
Slow cook it.
Yeah, cook it. And then what the key is? A little Appalachian root. First of all, you need some liquid in there, so you can either use like a beer, like a Kipona Fest. Actually, like a little bit of that would be good. Or if you're looking for the sweeter side of things, the root beer. Put a little bit of root beer in there to not only flavor that pulled pork, but also keep it nice and moist. And then what I do is, it doesn't really matter. I don't want to name any brands, because you could go with a store brand, or you could buy like your favorite brand of barbecue sauce. But like Emerald would say, kick it up a notch by mixing it up with like a little bit of the root beer. Make your own root beer barbecue sauce. Add a little spice to it, and man, it makes a difference. And when you're passing that stuff around on a slider, and just taking something that is a beautiful bite and wash it down with a good Appalachian Brewing Company beer, it doesn't get much better than that.
That's right. I mean, that root beer barbecue sauce, that's one of our staples at the brewery for sure. Also, when I do my pork roast, at least at home, I'll use Jolly Scott too, because that gives it that little bit of a malty character to it. Cooks down a little bit. So either way, I don't think you can lose. No.
I mean, you could prepare it with like anything, whatever you're looking for. But like, when you're putting that in the crock pot and you're just setting it and forgetting it for like 6 hours, whether you're using like a beef stock or like a beer, like a Jolly Scott or a Kipona Fest or something like that, those beers, that actually carries over and the flavor is there. And then it even pairs even better with your beverage later on. So yeah, good stuff. All right, man. Well, look, I'm coming to your house if that's what you're doing, and I know you'll be at my house if that's what I'm doing. Otherwise, I'll see you out there at Penn State hopefully this season, or Shippensburg, and you and the family and whatever new friends we end up meeting. That's what it's all about, man. So happy fall to you. It's great to get back together, Artie.
Happy fall, Mike, and let's get together. I know you don't play a lot of golf, but if we can hit it a couple times this fall, that would be fun. And and like I said, come visit us. We've got We've got great locations. They all, like you said, they all have different character, and they all have different characters. That's for sure.
Right.
Our great customers that come in, you're going to meet somebody interesting in one of our locations. We've got such a great group of people that come and visit us on a regular basis, and yeah, I think that's about it, Mike. Heading into fall, let's try to get together a little more often on the podcast.
Yes.
And I'm going to work to get some really exciting, some different guests in this year to help us out. It was a little tough this year because I had some people that I wanted to get in and just couldn't get them in for the podcast. But we'll work to get that to happen. And all in all, Mike, we're going to keep the podcast going. We're really excited about it, and I hope everybody out there in podcast land are enjoying. I think this may be our 25th.
If it really is, that's incredible. I actually wasn't keeping count, but we should celebrate not only your 40th birthday, but we can make up a number for the 25th. So, Artie, happy 25th episode, man.
Yeah, you too, Mike.
Cheers to you. As always, for all of your information, ABC products, whether you're looking for Appalachian craft spirits, beer, food, menu, special events, you can find it all. Follow on social, Facebook pages for the locations, as well as the main website, abcbrew.com. And we'll see you around the brew pub. Until next time, for Artie, it's Mike.